Hello everyone! As people started building complex and large machines, there was a need to find a method to deliver the machines. So, what can we do if the object is so big and heavy? In that case, transporting it will be a big project. For that project, special tools and transportation equipment will be used and dealt with by professional transporters. Welcome to this channel. Today, we'll introduce the world's most unique transportation missions in the world that you've probably never seen before. Well, let's begin. Bullwinkle Oil Platform. The Bullwinkle Oil Platform was built in 1988. At the time, it was by far the largest oil rig in the world. Just looking at it is exciting, isn't it? The Bullwinkle, weighing approximately 77,000 tons, had to be moved to a drilling site in the Gulf of Mexico after its extensive construction was complete. This is what's interesting. The destination was an oil field located 260 kilometers southwest of New Orleans, USA. To transport the oil platform, a huge barge was specially constructed to serve as a tugboat. This barge looked relatively small compared to the oil platform itself. However, note that while the transportation of the oil right itself was a challenge due to its size, the actual delivery mission only took 3 days. It is rumored that it cost approximately $500 million to build this 482-meter high oil platform. Now imagine how much it costs to transport that. I wouldn't even want to think about it. As you can guess, Bullwinkle is, of course, one of the biggest amongst the ones you'll see today. Wind turbine blades. Next up, let us introduce wind power generation. Most of you probably have heard of this machine and understand its importance if we want to get clean energy. However, I bet most of you never thought of how this machine gets transported, right? To better understand this issue, let us show you an interesting example. 4 years ago, workers in China had to install wind turbines in the mountains at an altitude of 3 kilometers above ground. Hard to imagine, isn't it? To proceed with this plan, the blades were loaded onto special trucks and transported to the destination. The biggest problem was the 5.5 kilometer road, which was winding and had a slope of 30 degrees. Just imagine. Each blade weighed 12 tons and was 50 meters long. These blades were transported to the mountains by specially powered trucks. 4 reactors of a Chinks oil refinery. The great task of transporting our reactors of the Chinks oil refinery was the most extensive operation ever in Russia. Furthermore, this operation was listed in the Guinness Book of Records as the heaviest cargo hauling operation using public roads. First, the reactors were transported to the port of Mantova in Italy. They were then transported to Dudinka by barges several times larger than usual, and then to the temporarily built mooring facility at Kubakovo via the Yenisei River. Then, the reactor, which weighed more than 2,500 tons, had to be moved to the Chinks oil refinery. As you can imagine, this is a challenging task and required a giant transport vehicle to complete the work. The experts decided to use a special transport vehicle with 384 wheels and 24 double axles. Incredibly, this vehicle was a record-breaking 36 meters long. 175 Pink Gin type yacht. Also known as the Silver Giant, the 175 Gin type yacht is an enormous sailing vessel. It is 53.9 meters in length and 9.55 meters in width. This beautiful yacht, which weighed 245 tons, was launched in 2017. The cost of the 175 Pink Gin is unbelievably mind-blowing. But the worst part is the cost if even a single scratch was done to this yacht during transportation. Fortunately, no accidents occurred. The Silver Giant was successfully transported from Bosund, Finland, to the destination, Jakobstad. By the way, to successfully transport this yacht, a portion of the road had to be expanded because it was too big. Additionally, all road signs along the route were removed to avoid damaging them. Tengiz Chevroil's facilities. In addition to its own primary business, Caspian Development Company Services Inc. is involved in the transportation business of huge cargoes. It was the same company took on Kazakhstan's largest hauling services. The 340 tons of equipment for the Tengiz Chevroil oil refining industry was initially transported via the Caspian Sea and then by vehicle to its destination. The main component of the facility was loaded into a gigantic transport vehicle with 160 wheels. Each wheel carried approximately 2 tons. Thanks to this method, it avoided leaving various damages. But that's not all. The tractor that towed the vehicles was linked to a convoy of 15 various equipment units. Fortunately, these sizes were smaller than the main component. 30 units in a residential area. In 2016, there was a relatively uncommon transportation task in Sweden. The entire residential district consisting of 30 units was transported. This remarkable occurrence was made possible thanks to LKAB and the Scania tractor. The truth is, the buildings in this area were blocking the expansion of the Malmberget mine, so the local municipality eventually signed an agreement to relocate these buildings. However, because of the historical value of some of the units, rather than demolishing them, they decided to relocate the units. It's worth noting that the heaviest house weighed 230 tons. These houses were moved 7 kilometers from their original location by a powerful 620 horsepower tractor. This tractor towed Nicholas MHD, which has a 180 axle trailer and 144 wheels. Saturn V rocket. Rockets are arguably one of, if not the biggest thing people make. But as you may guess, the launch site is not particularly the best place to build a rocket. So, the rocket is built in a completely different location, and once built, it is transported to the launch site for departure into space. The rocket, named Saturn V, carried Americans to the moon in 1969 and remains the heaviest rocket to date. Just imagine, this rocket weighs 3,100 tons and is 111 meters tall. To transport the Saturn V to its destination, a Caterpillar-type transport vehicle called a crawler was developed. This vehicle is more powerful than any other vehicle in history. Additionally, there's another interesting fact about this. Can you take a guess? This hauler was developed in the 1960s, but there is still no vehicle that can compare. Thanks to the powerful engines, this hauler can carry massive cargoes of up to 8,000 tons. Last but not least, this vehicle is handled by a team of 30 professionals. 340 tons of megaliths. Recently, the Los Angeles Art Museum had a unique incident. They had a fabulous exhibit called The Levitated Mass. This is actually a long concrete trench with a huge 340-ton rock. People who visit here feel like a gigantic rock is floating in the air with no safety net. But how was this rock transported from the quarry to the museum? I mean, this rock is 6.5 meters tall. This rock was transported across town by Emmert International's huge trailer. This trailer consisted of 22 axles with independent braking systems. The trailer had 196 wheels and combined the weight of the tractor and the rock was estimated to be 550 tons. The trailer only moved at a rate of 15 kilometers per hour, so it took 10 days to get it to the destination. That's it for today. Thank you for watching to the end. Lastly, what I would love to say, now you all know everything, unfortunately, that won't be a true statement. To know everything, you must subscribe to this channel. I will introduce more fascinating things. Well, that's it. Goodbye.